And Chinese President Xi Jinping has told the Communist Party Congress the nation's prospects are bright, but the challenges are severe. More than 2,000 delegates are attending the 19th National Congress in the Great Hall of the People in Tiananmen Square. Well, let's get more on this now. We're joined by Victor Gao. He's the director at the China National Association of International Studies. He's live from Beijing. Thank you very much for talking to us, Victor. Firstly, can you just tell us how important this Congress is for Xi Jinping and for his aspirations?
The 19th Party Congress, which is ongoing as we speak, is a very important historical event in China this year, as well as at least for the coming 5 years. This Party Congress will significantly consolidate President Xi Jinping's leadership role, as well as his power base within the Communist Party of China. And President Xi Jinping, over the past 5 years, has demonstrated eloquently his ability, his vision, his courage, and his leadership capability, not only within the Communist Party of China, but also in the government, as well as in the Chinese military. And also, he has enabled China to play a much more important international role on the global stage. All these combined will make the foundation for the next 5 years under President Xi Jinping a more powerful and more united China at the very top. And I think this bodes well for President Xi Jinping, for people who closely follow him, as well as for the Communist Party of China and China as a whole. And I think a stronger and more united, more coherent China is good news on the global stage. Victor, at this time.
You used the phrase consolidate there. He's going to consolidate more power at the top. How do you respond to critics who say that too much power is being consolidated in the hands of one man?
Yes, indeed. The outside world tend to look at China as if China is a monolithic country and the Communist Party of China is a monolithic political party. The reality is not. Within the Communist Party of China, for example, the principle is collective leadership and democratic centralism. In essence, it basically encourages people to think freely, but once a decision is made, party members and party committees at different branches need to follow the leadership and the final decision of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. However, over the years and over the decades, there have been significant power groups being built up within the party, and sometimes there are forces advocating different policies and leading the country in different ways, etc. And sometimes there are even institutional setups which prevent a very effective leadership. The previous generations of the Chinese Communist Party leaders sometimes suffer from these institutional setups. For President Xi Jinping, I think, he needs to break down these institutional barriers so that leadership can be followed very closely and effectively once a decision is made. And this doesn't mean that democracy should be restricted within the party. It is actually built upon greater expression of opinions and free discussion. But once a decision is made, I think there is a premium put on the party moving in the same direction and the nation in terms of building up economy, maintaining social stability
Victor,
here in China, and playing a more international role on the global stage.
When President Xi Jinping talks about the challenges going forward, what are those challenges?
Well, I think there are many, many challenges. Part of the reason is because China today is very much on uncharted roadmap right now. There is no other country and no other political system in the world which have done what China has been doing over the past 4 decades. Therefore, how to keep innovation, how to keep creativity, how to constantly doing the political and economic reform, and how to make sure that the ruling party in China is transparent, is accountable, is clean, for example, and how to make sure that this very important anti-corruption campaign will be carried out to the hilt, and party leaders, government leaders, and military leaders will not dare to become corrupt, even when they have power vested in their hands. All these are very important challenges in China. China itself also needs to care for the fundamental interests of the people, especially caring for the lower social strata people who are in sometimes difficult situations. All these would require the political party, the government, and the country as a whole to keep coming up with new innovative ways of development and advocating inclusiveness, caring for the poor, caring for the lower end of the social strata, and also make sure that China shares its benefit of the reform and economic development not only among its own people, but also sharing the economic benefits with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Victor, thank you very much.